My video for March 14th, 2018 is entitled, Discovering Where We Have Been Deceived. This is another very challenging day for me. In fact, the past 2+ years have been the most challenging of my nearly 71.5 years on this planet. It's not easy to come to grips with the realization that much, if not most, of what we have been taught, myself included, has been riddled with deception. As I try to come to grips with this and alert my friends and family of things they cannot yet comprehend, I am often rebuffed and silenced in some way. Yes, this is painful. No one likes to feel alienated within our own circle. Yet, if I am to fulfill any semblance of my life purpose, I have to be willing to let go of those who are unwilling and or not ready to hear painful truth. Most do not want to consider the reality that Earth has been in the control of lying demons, not a loving creator God that we were taught about in our various religions. On the contrary, we have been bound to doctrines of devils. While I pray that my life will not have been lived in vain, perceivable circumstances reveal the failure of my disappointing life. I did not plan on even going out or getting dressed today, but a little while ago I did have a friend call me and ask for a ride, and I consented to get dressed and give the neighbor a ride to a location. They don't have their own transportation, and they've asked various times for me to give them a lift locally here. So I've done that. But in any case, it's been a day of introspection. In fact, the last while has been major introspection, as I've had an issue in my family that has challenged me tremendously. I've tried to get people to look at, and I've shared some of these things on my Facebook page, and I think even on my YouTube channel, of revelations of the school shooting that just took place in South Florida not too long ago. And I know that my grandkids and my family are being indoctrinated by a system that is telling people to give up their arms, to let the state take away from their arms. And I am strongly, strongly opposed to that. The thing that keeps America safe, as I've said, I'm sure, in other videos, even recent ones, the thing that keeps us the safest is that America is the most armed nation on earth. And I support the Second Amendment, at least until such time as God, or the Creator, actually brings in the kingdom of heaven on earth, where we won't need weapons anymore, where our whole manner of living will be totally transformed, because we will be able to manifest, I believe ultimately, we'll be able to manifest the things that we actually need, and we won't have to do things like killing even animals to eat. Everything will be very, very different than what we have been accustomed to as human beings living on planet Earth for, as I've said, millennia. I mean, it goes back eons of time, apparently. And I'm trying my best to fulfill my mission to teach that there needs to be a kingdom of heaven on earth, but as an interim step, the Republic for the United States needs to be restored, and individual people. Now, I did get a piece that I've looked at in the last while about the Constitution didn't give us rights. It only gave rights to the people that created it. And I'm sure there were charlatans, including Benjamin Franklin and others, that were English plants that wanted to maintain the system of control by the king or the aristocracy. And of course, the Pope is very much involved in that, and the Catholic Church, and especially the I forgot the word. The Jesuits have been very much involved in this New World Order thing of taking away the rights of human beings to be free. And we have been deceived into giving up those rights through the financial system and especially through the legal system, and of course through our religious systems. These things have convinced us that we are less than what we were created to be. And I've had this vision of something that's better, and which is why I like the Anastasia books that I keep mentioning, because those, to me, are the most influential and potentially most powerful books that the humanity has been given, including all of the so-called sacred scriptures in all of the major religions. And paganism, to me, is the ultimate reality, because it teaches that we are one with all of life. And I've been deceived. I've taught things that I thought were true at the time that I taught them, and later realized that they weren't true. And the time since my home was taken, that has been paramount in the shift. And of course, my home was in a sense taken even prior to it physically being taken, because in supporting my family, I had to give up my ability to hold meetings in my house, and I lost many of my friends and acquaintances that used to come regularly to my home, where I conducted meetings every week. And I no longer was able to do that, no longer was able to have workshops in my home on weekends as I used to be able to do. And so everything became upset and topsy-turvy, because I accommodated my family, who lived with me for over 2 years before they finally were able to move out with the help of my son and get a place of their own. Anyway, I don't want to rehash family things. I really don't want this to be knocking my family. They are doing the best they can with the information they believe is true, the same as me. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I can't participate in any grouping or whatever where I'm not allowed to communicate. Where shut up and do what we want you to do and keep your mouth shut. I can't do that. That's not me. It will never be me. As long as I have a voice, I will speak. Now, I have to say that I'm really, really challenged, because I'm experiencing things from time to time that indicate that there may be physical problems, even though I work hard to keep myself as physically fit as possible and exercise and hug trees and connect with nature and eat as well as I can eat. I mean, I'm not really good at cooking a lot of stuff, but in any case, I try to avoid too much sweets and food that's not good for me. In any case, folks, we have all been deceived. What is it that's so hard about that to understand? And at the very least, we need to listen to one another, especially those we care about. We can't just cut them off and say, you're not allowed to talk about that. That's unacceptable. You know, that grates me very, very badly, which is why I make videos, so that I can at least get the message out and people can choose to listen or not listen. But it's important that we know that yes, we have to love one another, but it's not love when you challenge somebody and say, you're not allowed to talk about that. We don't agree with that. That's not love. Love listens. And I don't want to argue. I have no intention of arguing. I've talked about that in other videos. Anyway, folks, we need, as I said, to discover areas that we've been deceived, and we need to learn to listen to one another, because that's what love does. Thank you for listening to me. Namaste.